Welcome to MTN Outdoors.
Welcome everybody to this week's episode of MTN Outdoors. I'm once again your guide, Andy Curtis, and we have a very special episode for you today because we are here in Lincoln, Montana. Are we here to talk about grizzly bears? Well, not exactly. We are going to talk about grizzly bears in today's episode, and specifically how they're showing up in some spots here in Montana that they haven't been seen in a very long time. Are we here to talk about fly fishing? Good guess, but no. We will talk about fly fishing later and how it's helping our veterans heal, but that's not why we're in Lincoln right now. We're in Lincoln to talk about art. And no, not your fancy East Coast art, something you can't touch, hanging behind glass. We're talking about true Montana art. Art means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and so do tools. For example, a chainsaw. Maybe to you, this is something that just destroys or inspires movie franchises. But in the right skilled hands, this can create things of beauty. Well, apparently that's not me, but these guys here behind me are incredible artists, very skilled with this chainsaw, and they're doing what they love all weekend long here in Lincoln, and they're doing it for a good cause. All right, everybody, that should just about do it for us here this week at MTN Outdoors. Thank you, as always, for spending some time with me. And remember, as you're outside enjoying the great outdoors here in Montana, Lincoln, Libby, Helena, anywhere in this great state of ours, send me a photo to andy.curtis@ktvh.com. If you're out there hiking, camping, maybe you've got chainsaw art you want to show off, send me a photo and you could end up at the end of a future episode. Just like these folks, it's time for our MTN Outdoors brag board. And this picture comes to us from Amy Coates, finding a great way to beat this brutal heat this week, doing a little floating on the mow. And bonus points for that cool life jacket. Thanks for the pictures, Amy. Please keep them coming. Like my own personal North Star, I followed the light from this headlamp up a narrow horse trail, the roaring creek below making the consequences of falling from the light very clear. A perfect way to start archery season. Pretty soon my hunting buddy Nick and I ditched the flashlights and gained some elevation here in the mountains, not too far outside the Bob Marshall Wilderness, to start our search for elk. We reach a flat spot between some drainages and Nick lets out a locator bugle to see if we can hear any of the elk that might be lingering around. We get a few faint responses and found some very fresh bull sign, just enough to get our hopes up. But as the day wore on and temperatures rose, things got very quiet all over the mountain. You see, elk typically aren't fans of hot, sunny weather like we had on opening day, which meant a lot of sitting and waiting and sitting and watching. After about 10 hours, hope spiked again because off in the distance we spotted at least two bulls 2 ridges over. But with daylight disappearing and the elk being in a spot not exactly friendly to bow hunters, we moved into a nearby drainage, hoping we could catch another bull or two up on their feet. And that's opening day for you, where the bulls aren't as aggressive as they will be later on in the rut. And you know what? Archery hunting is flat out hard to begin with. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And if you don't believe me, I've got numbers to back me up. In 2022, of the almost 87,000 resident hunters going after elk, only 2,786 were successful with a bow and arrow, compared to over 20,000 who took an elk with a rifle. I wish those numbers made me feel better, but they don't. And I became a statistic to this year's Hungry Hunter count as we hit the trail back down to the truck. About 2,000 feet of total gained elevation, and after 14 hours of hunting, to end my opening day, all I had to show for it was an empty pack. But you know what? You're not going to shoot a bull from your couch, so I'll be back to do this all over again. At least I got my steps in. Hey there, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of MTN Outdoors. I'm your guide, Andy Curtis. And if you're anything like me, you are always thinking about hunting. Always. Always. Always! And if you're looking for your hunting fix, well, I'll try my best to help you in today's episode. Whether it's talking about hunting for dinosaur bones in Roundup or mosquitoes hunting for their next meal, we'll cover it all in today's episode. But first, our hunting opportunities got a nice little boost here recently with some more money coming to the block management program. MTN's Sam Hoyle has our story.
Hunters and landowners, you're probably going to want to listen up.
We have got a great show for you today because not only are we going to talk about wildfire mitigation, but we are going to walk the walk, actually touring several mitigation sites around the Helena area and speak with the boots on the ground, men and women who are working so hard to manage our public lands so close to the capital city. But before we get to that, it's a foraging favorite and has a very unique relationship with fire. I'm talking about the morel mushroom. People love to eat them, people love to hunt for them, but if you don't know what you're looking for, it can be pretty dangerous. So we'll talk morel mushroom hunting safety to kick things off today. You're tagging along on the Curtis family summer vacation. Working the camera right now is my lovely wife, Angela. Angela? Okay, never mind. I think I've got a vacation photo I can share. Yes, this one will work well. And while we're up here, we're going to take full advantage of all the beauty that this national park of ours has to offer and show you some real white knuckle, whitewater action here at Glacier. We're not actually going to do it. My wife and I are very responsible parents and we have a small child with us. So no, not a chance. But we still have a story about it for you. We're also going to share some more information we've learned about that violent otter attack that happened on the Jefferson River here recently that sent one woman to the hospital. But first, before we get to those stories, it is fire season here in Montana, and recently Congress approved a slight raise for our federal wildland firefighters. Well, that's set to expire here if Congress doesn't act soon. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian has the details.
Federal leaders say the pay increase is included in a bipartisan infrastructure bill.
We now return to MTN Outdoors.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode of MTN Outdoors. I'm your guide, Andy Curtis, and we are currently up here at Glacier National Park trying to find a parking spot at Logan Pass with absolutely no luck. Now, before the break, I asked you this week's MTN Outdoors trivia question. Wait. Now, before the break, I asked you this week's MTN Outdoors trivia question, and just in case you missed it because I'm such a nice guy, here it is one more time. According to the U.S. Forest Service, what is the typical home range of an adult male mountain lion? Is it A, 200 square miles, B, 100 square miles, or C, 50 square miles? If you think about 100 square miles sounds about right, then you are correct. This time, big toms call about 100 square miles their home range, where females generally stick to smaller 20 to 60 square mile ranges. Now, for as much as I love just driving around in circles, getting cut off by people with out-of-state plates here at Glacier National Park, I'm told there are other fun things you can do that don't involve driving your car. MTN's Carter Culver shows us.
Montana is home to some of the best recreational sports in the country, and one during the summer that attracts people from all over is whitewater rafting.
We now return to MTN Outdoors.
Hey everybody, welcome back to MTN Outdoors. I'm Andy Curtis. And you are riding along this week with the Curtis family on our summer vacation to Glacier National Park. And you know what? My time here at the park this weekend has really made me appreciate just how much better animals are than humans. Except for in this one area where we totally run them out of the stadium. MTN's Tanner Saul explains.
Cheetahs can run up to 70 miles an hour.
Well, everybody, that should just about do it for us here this week at MTN Outdoors. Thank you for watching, and remember, send your photos to me at andy.curtis@ktvh.com of you doing anything that involves the great outdoors here in Montana. Maybe, for example, you and your family are taking a trip to Glacier National Park. I want to see those pictures, and I want to put them up at the end of a future episode. Just like these folks, it's time for this week's MTN Outdoors Brag Board. And this week, we're going to dip into the MTN Outdoors Brag Board vault a little bit because it is pronghorn hunting season for some of us this week. So in honor of that, here's a picture of MTN's very own Marion Davidson's husband, Vito, after a successful hunt last year. Nice looking doe there, Vito, and I know for a fact he has another tag for this season. So hopefully, when he's successful again, he'll send in another picture, and when he does, of course, you'll see it right here. And this one is the gift that keeps on giving. I have too many of these great photos from Dwayne, so here are just a few of him doing what it sure looks like he does best. Fishing here in Montana, both in a boat and outside a boat. All right, thanks again, everybody, for spending some time with us here this week. And until next week, stay safe, and I'll see you out there.
Oh.